What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Tampa Race Reaction Show. And I mean, I'm practically speechless. If you guys watched the live qualifying show, the Tomac situation happened. I blew my throat out, literally being like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And to be honest, I mean, I'm going through the same thing right now. So before we jump into this, I want to thank our sponsor, Complete Racing Solutions and the Coach Rob podcast. There will be a link in the description down below to all of his different things, including his regular Complete Racing Solutions website, the podcast, all of that stuff. So make sure to go check that out. I don't know what just happened. We got to the East Coast and everything went crazy. We go from last week where we have the Jet Lawrence knee injury, and today it was just thing after thing after thing after thing. Tampa's always a little weird. They put this big ass beach sand section in it just because we're in Florida, I guess, so it needs to be sandy. I'm not really sure, but they always put this big beach section in there, which always creates chaos. And not only that, the rest of the track, it was just a soft, true East Coast track tonight that caused mass chaos everywhere on what I thought would be a semi-boring-ish night of racing. Like I said, if you watch the qualifying show, I wasn't really expecting a lot. The track was tight. The track was technical. I really kind of expected Cooper Webb to get a pretty good start and run away with this, or like what we saw where like Sexton got out to lead, but then Webb would chase him down and pass him really late because Webb is super good on these tight technical tracks like that. And Webb got second place tonight, which was a great ride for him because he got an absolute crap start. But there's so much other stuff to cover. For example, number one, we'll start with Eli Tomac. Eli Tomac hurts himself there in the qualifying number two, and basically rolls around all night. He managed to qualify straight through, but that main was just absolutely terrible. And then we're going to move on to the story of the night because this is the reaction show, and this is Stu wins. Stu just won a race. We've been calling Stu to win a race for years. He's had the speed, he's had the ability. We've been absolutely calling Stu to win a race. So much so that it's been so many years now that we kind of went, I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. It's too old. That bike's not that good for him. And holy crap. You want to count the amount of things I didn't have on my bingo card tonight and put the number one. The number one thing I didn't have on my bingo card tonight is Malcolm Stewart winning the damn race. He was super good in the whoops. And it's like they said towards the end there, he wasn't even pushing the pace. He was just riding. I was a little nervous there. That one first section where they kind of did the switchbacks there, so they would go single over table and then go on off. He was doing that, but that table where they were jumping on and off was really pocketed out. Like they dug it out basically by just going on and off, and I was really nervous it was going to kick the front because it was starting to kick his front, and he was going to go Indonesia. Basically I was so nervous I was so nervous with him getting to the lead, and I was even more nervous once he got the lead of like, please God, just let him hold this together, because this is going to be like the coolest thing that we've seen. It's probably the coolest thing we'll see all season, to be honest with you. And I mean, it was just words can't describe. No one at that racetrack is sad right now about him winning. Everybody is happy. He was literally hugging everybody. There wasn't anybody that was upset about this. This is probably, outside of Plessinger winning, this is probably like the second best thing we've seen here in the last couple of years. So absolutely amazing. Can't wait to talk to the guys on the show about this here. Outside of that, Sexton goes down, and I don't know what happened, but he unraveled after he went down, faded back to 4th, 5th place, something like that. You have Jason Anderson gets on the box, which I thought he blew. I actually have it in my notes. Ando blew his load the first 5 minutes of the race, because the first 5 minutes of the race looked really good, and then it was kind of like, what the heck's happening to him? And then at the end of the race there, he just ends up 3rd place. Webb, like I said, bad start coming up. Hunter Lawrence out for the night, rang his bell there in that heat race, just got a little too close to the edge. I don't understand and maybe this is a lack of racing ability in myself, but to push the edges of these tracks as hard as these guys do with the tough blocks, I don't, especially like if you're not really racing someone and you're in the middle of a straight like that, why did you jump that close to the edge that you hit that? I don't know. Just questions I have. Questions I have, right? Eli, like I said, in that 450 main was just nowhere to be found. I don't know what's wrong. It's not broken, apparently, because it didn't show up on the x-rays that they took at the track. But that doesn't mean something else isn't screwed up in there, or it's just a super duper terrible stinger. Who knows? But we'll just have to wait and see what comes out this week. Ken Roczen had a rough night, and that, if anybody's going to start blaming lappers or whatever, that is a racing incident in a sand section that Kenny will be very vocal this week about. I don't know why we have this sand section. And I hope Tristan Lane's okay. The way he got up and looked at his arm and like his hand and stuff, I don't know what happened, but it didn't look like it was a great look. And then just a terrible circumstance for Kenny's chain to come off. Kenny was on the move. He was doing well. He probably would have been on the podium. And end up just with a DNF basically because the chain came off. That's just a rough go. That's just a rough go. At least he seems to be okay. He'll come back, but we'll have to see what Detroit brings as far as he goes. Now, moving into the 250 class here. Again, you want to talk about an absolute wild night of racing. Now, great on Max and Steve for winning. It's cool that Max A1, B1 like just a dry, normal Supercross. There was nothing about this one that was even remotely sketchy. I know he won, I think he won last year. Boy, this is terrible. This is where you guys are going to be like, you should know everything. Yeah, well, it's hard to keep track of everything, everywhere, all the time. But he's going to have the red plate. And like I said, this solidifies him as a Supercross guy. There was low-key hype coming in that he was fast. Obviously, he was all day, and I felt like everybody was everywhere today as far as the 250 class went. Like, guys were all over the map. There were guys that you thought were going to be good that weren't good. I'm very, very curious to know. There's a lot of things I'm very curious to know. Number one, thoughts and prayers with Pierce Brown, and I hope he's okay. But it's not good, and I'll tell you why it's not good. And I've been texting people already going, I don't know what's going on there, but there's something not good with him because they didn't show his crash. Like, the race got red flagged, so we know it was bad. They had to get him off there. I'll be interested to see what the rumors start happening here until we actually see something. But the leader always, one thing I do know about Supercross and motocross for that fact, the leader always has a camera on him. Always. Because if something happens, they don't want to miss it. Obviously, he had a camera on him. The fact that we didn't see anything means it's bad. So, I'll be interested to know how bad it is. Again, thoughts and prayers with him. I hope he's okay. But that's rough. Levi Kitchen was probably the most underwhelming thing that I think I saw all day. And now I'm interested to know, was he still sick? Was it bike related? What's going on there? And if he's still sick or he got sick again, is it just bad timing or something going on in our training regiment there? There's a lot of questions with that one too. RJ was on brand of jumping too far to the inside, landing on that tough block disc and having his bike literally tangled in it. Totally on brand with RJ. He'll probably win next weekend. Vial was a bit of just kind of not really anywhere. Much better start to the season than last year because obviously he was, 5th place, so that's okay. But it wasn't what we kind of thought maybe. And I've been questioning it. We've been talking in the group chat, me and Justin Cole all day. They're building the whoops bigger and more sturdy, we'll call it this year. Like, the whoops this year are going to be rougher than they were last year. And I don't think that Vial has the whoop ability. Vial had a huge get off in the whoops in practice. You can see the video. It's on our stories on Instagram right now if you guys want to go check it out. I didn't take it. Somebody took it at the stadium. I posted it. They're tagged in it. Go follow them if you want to, whatever. But yeah, I don't think he has the whoop skills, and so I think that's going to be an interesting thing as we continue. He's not out of this by any means. He didn't throw this title away here at the first round, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Dax Bennick was probably the most the biggest surprise in the 250 class to me. When he was in second, I was like, okay, cool, he'll probably fade. He didn't, and he actually looked pretty good. But then to get... All right, so we'll try this again, part 2 here. As I was saying before, my phone decided it was going to run out of storage, and I had to go and free up a bunch of space. Dax Bennick was probably the biggest surprise of the night for me. When he got into second place, I thought, okay, he'd run there for a little while and then kind of fall off, which he obviously didn't. And then gets on the podium and tells us that he got sick last year. And we all know that means Epstein-Barr. So, see how that goes if that flares back up again. Probably not so much at Supercross, but maybe when we go outdoors. Max Volan, tough night. They had issues with the handbrake there when he cased that jump. As he said, nothing they could really do. That's just part of racing, is you learn where all the flaws and everything are with the motorcycle that you're using. Let's see here. McAdoo, torn up knee, surprise, surprise. That'll come and bite him in the ass here probably. More because what happens is it's going to compound, right? So the torn up knee will hurt at some point. It will end up flaring up, cause another crash, cause more issues instead of getting it fixed. He's a tough son of a gun, and I give him credit for being that tough son of a gun, but it is what it is, and we've seen this before with him. Outside of that, I don't have a whole lot more. Hymas was kind of so-so, which we knew. He didn't have a lot of time on the bike, coming back from the knee injury and then arm pump surgery apparently now, and yeah, just a whole mess there. So lots more to cover on the main show once we kind of unpack everything that happened in this race. The main show will be getting filmed on Monday night. So for all you members out there who are watching this, make sure to check that out. I don't know exactly the time. Me and Cole haven't hammered that out yet. And Justin is a question mark whether he's coming or not. But we will be filming Monday night because tomorrow's a Super Bowl and apparently people like that kind of stuff. But thanks to our sponsor, Complete Racing Solutions and the Coach Rob podcast. Check that out. Link in the description down below. And we'll see everybody on the main show this week. Just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this kind of content and you want to see the full show, it's linked right here. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss an update, you never miss a show, a live stream, a bike build, or anything that we're doing, make sure to hit that subscribe button there and make sure to turn on notifications with the bell. If you want to join our members area to help support the show, that's greatly appreciated too. And you can check us recording things live that other people in the general public don't get to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.